My name's Kristen. I am a cat at QLC, and I want to show you how you enter your time so you get paid for the good work that you do. You'll get a PIN, P-I-N, here, personal identification number, from Melanie or from Stephanie Foster in an email. You click on the link, and this is the screen that will pop up. And you enter your PIN, and then I'll show you the screen that you'll be dumped into. Here we go. Okay, so you entered your PIN. You clicked on the go button, and here you are. If you look over here, your name should pop up on this screen. This is the first screen you'll see. Underneath it, you see here it says enter time. That's the name of this screen. It matches over here where it says enter time. There's also a review time screen. We'll look at that next. Okay, before I do anything here and show you how to do things, I would like to show you what we have here. Says cost center. Everything we do at QLC is paid for out of various, income that the agency receives for the work that we do. So let's take a look at my caseload here. These are the people who I most often work with, so their names are popping up on my cost center because this time clock knows me. So you see that this young lady is ALCR, her first two letters of her first name, her first two letters of her last name, and then it says CAW, or Children's Autism Waiver. Okay? Then this is our usual, see how this is a default? It is CAWCAT admin. So any work that you do, like training, or when you are going to, say, a first aid training program, or if you talk with Melanie about your work or about your schedule, that would be under CAWCAT admin. The task that you do almost always will be HBS HABAID. HBS stands for Home-Based Services. Okay? So, over here, this is a little bit different here. We also have a full program, and some of your kids will be a full. So if I'll talk about that in just a minute when we talk about transportation, but I want you to notice that this child here is a full. Okay, it's JAGA, and he is in the full program, FES. Okay, this other child on my caseload is a CAW. I also have one who is a Children's Waiver Service, CWS. Okay? So that's the cost center. Every time you work, you need to list the cost center and the task. So I am going to put in, I did not do any of my work, clock in any of my time yesterday. I prefer entering all of my time under review time. And so that makes it easier for me to keep track, because when I show what I am done, notice that there's nothing entered yet here on Monday. So I am going to go in here on Monday and I'm going to start entering time. Notice that there's a button here that says create. So I want to create the work that I did yesterday. This is the first thing. Now it asked me the cost center. The very first thing that I did yesterday is work with this little person. There's the CAW person. So, and the task that I had is HABAID regular. The difference in what we do here, notice that because I started on Monday, it's dumping me to Monday. Monday is April 14th, and I started my work at 9 a.m. And I go down to end time. It's already defaulted to when I started, which is what makes this is just a much easier screen for me to navigate. So I ended at 12 p.m. Make sure you click on the correct AM or PM, or it will enter 24 hours worth of work that you have to void and fix. So I'm going to save that, and let's see what it looks like on my review time screen. Now I have something that I did yesterday. Now, I did more than just that yesterday, so I'm going to create another thing. Notice that I have this highlighted here. It's still on Monday, so it's going to create based on Monday. Here we go. I did not work with this little girl after that. I did some admin time at the office. So here we go. I took an hour for lunch. So, oh wait, that's my, oops. I started at 1. There we go. Notice that you can still fix it before you say save, and that's okay. And then I ended up at 3 o'clock. Okay, now I'm going to go down. Whenever I enter admin time, I always put a note in here so I can help myself remember. I did training, then I did transportation. And this tells me who I was coming to work. So I'm every time that you take a car for a client, in this case TE, that child has me I pick up the car here at QLC. I take it over to pick him up at the ELF, and then I work with him at the ELF, and then I drive him home. That's a transpo. So it's going to be a little bit different than the one I entered in the morning. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to save again. And that accounts for what I did there. Now I'm going to enter something slightly different. Here we go. We're going to create. Notice that it defaulted to what I just entered. There's my little friend. I do not say Habade regular, even though I worked with him just like I worked with the little girl this morning. But the difference is I used a car during the time and I transported the child using a car. So this should always say transpo. If you have a QLC vehicle that you are using to take a child, it should say transpo here. And we began at 3 and we ended at 5:15. Okay, and now this time I'm going to do it a little bit different though. I'm going to save and create because I know that I need another one right after it. So I'm going to save and create. Notice that it defaults to exactly what I just entered. So now I do still need to change the cost center. It is a CawCat admin. This is the time that it took for me to drive back from his home to QLC to take the car back. So here we go. From 5:15 to 5:30, I was driving the car. I did not have a child in the car, so I cannot bill that to the child, but I do need to bill it to CawCat admin so that it is clear why I was doing that. And now I'm going to click save. I don't have, it should be obvious since it's right after a transpo. When you look at review, I'll show you. See how right after transpo, I would have a 15-minute time where I was taking the car. In this case, I was already working at QLC before I picked up the car, but if I was not at QLC, then you would have a 15-minute or so CawCat admin, just like this one here, that would say this is the work that you did, to pick up the car and take it where you were supposed to pick up the child. Okay? So I like to think of it as a transpo sandwich. Every time I have a transpo, I should have a tiny little 15-minute or so, or however long it takes you to, pick up the car and go to the child, and then take the car back to QLC from where you drop them off. There should be 2 of those on either side. Okay? So let's think about how we can look at all of the things we've done this week. You can see I got some training that I did on Sunday, and I have some work that I did on the 14th, and I also have added some of what I did on Tuesday. Now I'm going to show you from the enter time how that looks to enter time. Notice that the first thing I showed you of how to enter time is on the review screen. I prefer this. It's easier to see. It's easier for me to understand, and I can also make it just be one day. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of April. I've only entered one of my work shifts. I probably need to enter another one. And in fact, I do. So, but it helps me keep track. I know where my schedule is. It's easier to look at day by day. On the enter time, it defaults to the time and date that you actually are here. So, if I clock in, see where it says clock in? Before I clock in, I need to say what I'm clocking in for. And actually that would be my morning person, the morning young lady that I work with. So I click on her name. I do not transport her, so I have Habade regular, and then I'm going to clock in. On this thing, you have to do that first. You have to say what it is first before you clock in. Okay, now let's say that I forgot. What if I forgot? Let's see what happens. So I'm going to clock in, and I started at 9:30 a.m. I'm going to clock in, and then it says clock out down here. You see that? I'm going to clock out. So I'll clock out. I'm going to show you how to fix this because it's not correct. Here we go. All right. So then, if I look at review time, I say, oh no, that was not correct because I was not a Cawcat admin this morning. I was something else. So I'm going to fix this. I clicked on it. See how it opened it? It won't allow you to click on an already entered time unless you enter a note. So we will enter a note explaining that we used the wrong code. So I'm going to write wrong code as a note. Amended entry. That just lets them know why are you fixing this. Maybe something was wrong or who knows. But it's always good to just throw a little note in there. There we go. So now I have my work for today so far already entered. So you can enter your time however really is easiest for you. Just do remember that when you are entering the time here, you want to make sure that you are paying attention to the actual date and time and making sure the AM and PM are correct. So noon is actually 12 p.m., midnight is 12 a.m., and I've gotten a couple of entries where it was very much wrong. So you can void an entry, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's say that I actually did not work this time. Let's say that I was wrong. If you click on this box right here, all you have to do, see where down here it says void or add note? You can void it. Okay? So I can click on that and I can just void it. I can say test entry for training. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to save that and I'm voiding it. So then if it's voided, you see you've got a little garbage can there. That means it's not being counted. Okay? So it's really easy to void something if you need to. Just make sure you put a note in there explaining that you were fixing something that you did wrong. Okay? If you have any questions at all, ask Melanie. She's happy to help. And it really is an easy way of keeping track of all your time. Good luck! And I'm going to go ahead and log off now.